Hey! It's the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN jackfruits. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We have a couple of things to talk about today. I just want to be clear on this. Also, I want to add, so I'm having a problem with rendering my videos. Don't worry, we're gonna get some regular 10-minute videos out today. So I'm thinking it was a blessing from God, because I do a video the other day. There's nothing wrong with the content of the video. The video is correct. The facts and everything is right. There's nothing wrong with that. So I did a video the other day that I was trying to get rendered and it just wouldn't render. And so I said, I'll come back to it later. I got a couple of other things I got to do. Remember, I'm working on some stuff in the community or whatever the case is. So I got a couple of other things to do. I'll get back to it when I get an opportunity. So I wake up this morning and I start going through social media or whatever the case is. Well, kind of last night, I was already going through social media. So I wake up this morning and I'm going through social media or whatever the case is. And then I realized that we have to talk about this. What's the thing we have to talk about? So the Democrats swear up and down that Donald Trump is trying to destroy our democracy. First of all, we live in a constitutional republic. That's one. We do not live in a democracy. We don't want to, to live in a democracy. Democracies lead to communism. I'm going to say that again for everybody that don't get it. A democracy leads to communism. For the people that don't get it, listen to what Kamala Harris is saying. Kamala Harris wants everybody to end up at the same place, independent of how much work or effort you put in contrast to how much work or effort the next person puts in. So if you put in an incredible amount of work and effort to get a thing done, Kamala Harris thinks that you should still be doing the same. You should have just as much as the next person who did nothing. You shouldn't have more. You shouldn't have less. So if somebody is over there busting a butt to get something done, they should not have any more than the individual who's doing nothing and watching them work. Pardon me, I had to insert this shit going. So I say all that to say this. And I'm about to show something to y'all in a minute, but I want to just get all of this out first. I say all that to say this. During the 1980s, I was alive. During the Soviet Union, I was alive. I want to put something up on the screen for y'all real quick. Give me 1 second. Oh, 80s. Soviet Union, right? Right now, let's go bread lines. Right? And now let's do some just images. So in 1980, this is what the Soviet Union looked like. You saw what I typed in? Bread lines. Do you see this? what capitalism, socialism really looks like. Shortly before the Soviet Union collapsed, the young Stephen, I don't know how to say that name, was standing in the line waiting for bread. Now he teaches economics at ETSU, carrying his story with him. I was born in the Soviet Union about 4 years before the collapse, dude said. Some of my earliest memories was something like standing on a bread line. So this is what Kamala Harris wants to turn America into. Where if you're a scientist, you make just as much as the dude that has no job. Where if you're a construction worker, you make just as much as the guy that makes coffee. Whereas if you are a tech engineer or a software engineer of some kind, you make just as much as the dude cleaning bathrooms. This is what everyone gets a trophy looks like. This is what Kamala Harris is trying to turn America into, and the people who think like her. This is socialism. If you listen to her talk, one of the main things she discusses is basically wanting to take as much from the rich as possible and then disseminate it to other people. So the Bible speaks about jealousy and envy. They're literally trying to get you your vote based on jealousy and envy. How much could they think about you? They're not trying to get you to vote for them because they're going to create a policy that's going to make America better. They're trying to get you to vote for them because you're looking over your neighbor's yard, you see what your neighbor got, and you want it. This is dangerous. I got a video to play for y'all, but there's a couple of things that I want to say, and then I'm going to play the video. The next thing is this, and this is what the video is about. Black Lives Matter does not support Kamala Harris. I need for you to tell me why black men should. Black Lives Matter has come out and said that they do not support Kamala Harris. I need for somebody to explain to me why black men should. I need for somebody to explain to me why black men don't have any other choice but to vote for her. Remember what I told y'all just yesterday? I said Kamala Harris is going to lose just based off of racism alone. I think I should have explained that a little bit further. I think I should have went into a little bit more detail. I'll go into a little bit more detail right now. So there are people who are overtly racist. They're not going to vote for her whatsoever. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. She's not going to get their vote. They're going to vote the opposite of her because they're overtly racist. But besides those people, there are other individuals that they're not necessarily overtly racist, but they have great trepidation about putting black people in charge of things because they have underlying motivations of racism inside of them. The only way to get those people to vote for a black person is to not speak about race. That's where Obama actually was able to overcome. He didn't speak about race. He said, I'm not going to make this about race, because the people that was running Obama's campaign understood that there are individuals who they're not outwardly racist, but they grew up in a society where everything in their immediate surroundings might be racism. It might be racist. So in order to reach these individuals, what we need to do is we need for them to not have to pick a position, our people or yours. Now explain to me why any person who is not black should vote for Kamala Harris. So Black Lives Matter is taking a position. They don't want anything to do with her. You know what they want? They want there to actually be an election for the Democratic nominee. You know what that would be? That would be how you run a constitutional republic. They have a group of donors that got together and said that we're going to put our support behind Kamala Harris. That's how she got the nomination. You people that love democracy so much didn't even get a chance to vote. They hornswoggled you. They knew that they was going to do this 6-7 months ago. They knew that he was not going to make it to the finish line. They were just hoping that he could get close enough to the finish line where when they did this, people wouldn't make a big deal about it. That's it. Two weeks ago, they were praising the president of his mental fortitude. They were praising him for being sharp and quick-witted, probing, praising him. Now, all of a sudden, no, it was just, it just fell off a cliff. One day he was at the top of his game. The next day he's a 3-year-old. And this is just something else. I'm just going to throw in there. If he's not healthy enough, competent enough to run for the presidency, then how the hell was he still the president? Could the Democrats explain that to me? Something is wrong with his cognitive. He's had such a steep cognitive decline that he cannot run again for the presidency, right? So how is he still the president? How has he not been removed? Why hasn't the 25th Amendment been enacted? Booster number 14 says Democrats rigged 2020 to put Biden, which I do agree. It's been proven, by the way. For everybody that don't know, there's hundreds of thousands of votes in Georgia alone. I believe they said somewhere close to 400,000 votes that should not have been there that were for Biden. So now that conversation that Trump had when Trump said, "Can you find me more votes?" Now do you get it? 384,000 votes. Appreciate you, Booster. Now do you get it? Do you understand now? Is it something that you could comprehend? So when Trump says, "Can you find me more votes?" that's not him saying, "Can you cheat?" So hold on. Booster number 14 says Democrats rigged the 2020 to put Biden, and they rigged it again by installing Kamala. 100% agree. There goes their democracy. And why is America standing for this? 100% on your side. 100% agree. I have no disagreement with with that comment. And thank you for putting the number of actual votes that were given to Biden. Also, might I add, Biden won that state by less than 5,000 votes. I'm not sure if it was the state or the county, but I think it was the state. Because guess what county all of those mysterious votes came from? I believe they said Fulton County. I may be incorrect. Guess who runs Fulton County's guess who's from Fulton County? Fannie Willis. Just some things to think about. We're gonna play a clip real quick. I'm gonna turn my volume up first because like the volume is like stupid low over here. So when I turn the thing on, I'm not gonna be able to hear shit. Hold on a second. Let me turn my volume up.
Thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country.
This is the kind of thing that is playing out all over conservative media. I just want to do a little bit of record correcting. There's not record crime right now. Number one, Harris was put in charge, as you said earlier, of combating the roots of immigration. She was not and is not the border czar.
And the Biden administration did task Vice President Kamala Harris with the issue of migrant crossings, naming her the so-called border czar.
I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand.
I want to stop it there before we get to this next thing real quick. I need for y'all to explain, pardon me, I need to explain why I believe that this is something that we should pay attention to. So Kamala Harris was the border czar. We know that to be a fact. They made a big deal about this. Like they made a really big deal about this. They talked about it for a long time. You know, there was a period of time where they were trying to convince us. Well, they still trying to convince us. But there was a real big period of time before it became evident that they did not know what they was doing at the border and that everything they was doing at the border was a bad idea. That they were trying to convince us that everything that was going on in the border was great. The only reason why the border was messed up is because of Trump and all of this other just weirdo ass shit that ain't true. So I'm going to, before I say this thing, I want to say something real quick. What do I keep telling y'all the Democrats do? And I've said this numerous times, and I've said this over and over again. The Democrats create a problem, and then they try to pretend like they're going to fix it so they could be the hero. Now, the reason why I am really attuned to this is because I literally grew up in that type of situation where people who were pivotal in my life, of my development, instead of them, you know, being there and being actual trying to help me go through life, what they wanted to do was they wanted to just create catastrophes in my life. You know, when everything is going fine, I got everything going fine. I'm winning. I know what I'm doing. I'm excelling. And then they will pull up and they would try to create catastrophes in my life, make everything go bad. And then they'll try to pull up and try to pretend like they're trying to save me and that they're being helpful. So this has been going on my whole entire life. So when I'm a child and this is happening, it's easy to trick a child, right? But by the time I got a little bit older, you know, I'm 13, 14 years old. You know, they've been doing this since I've been born. So by the time I get 13, 14 years old, I'm way more adept to understanding, you know what? All of this was going fine until this person got involved. All of this was going fine until that person found out that I was trying to do these things. Now, all of a sudden, everything's going wrong, and they're the only ones that can help me. So I need to explain what I think the Democrats did here and what they're generally always doing. What they do is they create a catastrophe. They create a situation that's bad. And then after they create the bad situation, all their own doing, they try to make it seem like they're going to clean it up for you. And you have to come to them because the Republicans is the ones that started the problem. 9 times out of 10, Republicans had nothing to do with it. That's the border. That's the border. She was the border czar. She had 0 other things to do. As we all know, we rarely ever hear from the vice president. I think maybe Al Gore was one of our more vocal vice presidents because he was on that whole climate control bullshit. Like, don't get tricked by these climate activists. All of that is bullshit, okay? The climate people been saying that the world is going to be going to Mad Max territory for the last 100 years. All right? It's been like, not 100 years. I'm exaggerating a little, but like the last like 60, 70 years. That's not an exaggeration. The climate people, longer than that. I'm just, you know, I want to put a cap on the time limit. They've been trying to say that the world was going to go to Mad Max territory because of we're doing all of the fossil fuels and I remember being in the 80s and hearing about all of this global warming and all this other bullshit. I'm going to explain something to you. During the summer, when it gets hot, they say global warming made it get hot. It's the summer. During the winter, if there's any storms or it gets cold, they say global warming did that. It's the winter. It snows. You niggas is slow. I don't know no other way to explain this. Also, the main people that preach against this global warming thing, saying that we got to do these are the mofos that's on all of them private jets flying around all the time, creating the most O2. Also, there's nothing wrong with O2 in our freaking atmosphere. So that's also not an issue. I just want to throw that up there. So the Democrats create problems and they go to you, the public, me, say that the Republicans created the problem and the only way to fix it is to elect them. There was nothing wrong with our border. I want everybody to remember his first day in office. Joe Biden signed something like 80 or 90 executive orders opening our borders all the way up. Then they put the vice president in charge of our borders. She hasn't even been there. This has to be the worst comment I've ever heard anybody say about the borders. Damn, did I play it? I don't know if I put it in this clip. Might not have put it in this clip. Anyway, they ask about the borders. Here we go, right there. Check this out. This is absolutely hilarious.
Of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
The fuck are you talking about? Europe is not your responsibility. The border is your responsibility. Why would we care if you've been to Europe? That's one. 2, You are the vice president of the United States. And you're trying to tell me through this whole entire time that you've been the vice president of the United States. You've never been to Europe? Forget you going to Europe before you were the vice president. While you've had official duties in the White House, you've never been to Europe? You should have been to Europe. You should have been to China. You should have been to everywhere, especially where our allies are at. Also, don't they hold conventions in Europe, world conventions in Europe? Remember, Europe isn't just France or England. Like, Europe is a shitload of countries. So you're trying to tell me you haven't been to Europe at all? They hold conventions over there, world conventions. You've just been to none of them. So what are you doing? You're doing 0 jobs.
And I mean, I don't understand.
During the department's regular oversight of our execution of presidential drawdown authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our
Just so we could be clear, that's the money that's missing. I'm going to rewind it a tiny bit. Just so we could be clear, that's the money that's missing. What do I keep telling y'all about Democrats? And I've been telling y'all this since we've been doing social media. I've been telling y'all this about Democrats. The Republicans and the Democrats make their side money 2 different ways. The Republicans sell us to foreign interests. Like, they'll go speak to whatever company that's manufacturing whatever they're manufacturing. And they'll say, okay, you want to sell your product in America? Not a problem. Grease my palms. The Democrats, how they make their side money is they set up little trusts everywhere. Why do you think they got all of these clinics in your neighborhood? Why do you think the new thing for them to do now is to open up shelters in New York City? Pay attention. They create all of these different areas where they could create slush funds, monies that's being put into a thing that nobody is watching. Now, I've been telling y'all Democrats been doing that for how many years now? They tell you not to pay me no attention. They tell you I'm crazy, and they tell you I don't know what I'm talking about. So why am I so consistently correct? Tell me why my information is so consistently correct.
management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA,
just so I think basically what I think she's saying is that the money that's just come up missing in no way hurt the Ukraine. So it sounds like they sent extra money on purpose so they could snatch it. That's what it sounds like.
this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
Whenever I had a Republican president, I made a lot of money.
That's true.
A lot of people
Heard what he said? Whenever I had a Republican president, I made a lot of money.
say that. You know, whenever I had people say
What do I keep telling y'all? The Republicans need for us to have money so we can go and become consumers. The Republicans need us to be consumers because they make their money when we go buy products and when we make a product big. That's how the Republicans win. My camera keep looking like it's going in focus and out of focus. Give me 1 second. Like, what the hell is going on over here? Am I just too close to the camera? I might be too close to the camera. Might be too close to the camera. I don't know. All right. So what do I keep telling y'all? The Republicans need for us to have money. They make money different. Why do you think it's so much? A ton of years ago, Donald Trump said that if he was going to run for president, he'd run Republican and not Democrat. And he said this while he was a Democrat. He made a joke, at least I took it as a joke, by saying, well, you know, Republicans are foolish enough to vote for him. I think that was a joke. But you can't run Democrat when you are what he is. He's a businessman. He's going to make laws, or he's going to make bills, sign stuff into you know, that's going to benefit businesses. The Democrats are not ever going to do that because that goes against their best interests. The Democrats need us to be poor and broken. The Democrats need us on our knees needing help. Shout out to the Coney Island Sharks, by the way.
I'm just gonna keep my opinions to myself. But anyway, if I'm voting for Trump, so what somebody's gonna do about it?
I don't think anybody. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Oh yeah, but I'm just talking about so what?
Yeah, does it make you feel weird that people?
So what?
Do people? Why is it people care about your opinion so much? Is that weird to you that people freak out about your opinions?
No, they believe I have a lot of followers, this and that. But this is my opinion. This is what I believe. If I like Donald Trump and I want to vote for him, I'm gonna do it. So what? What are you gonna do? Shoot me, beat me up?
No,
I don't think so.
No, it's not. But I think that people.
Shout out to the Coney Island Sharks, by the way. Every time I see them, they make me feel so welcome. They always inviting me around whenever they're doing any projects, whenever they're doing anything. I appreciate that very much so. And they also are helping me with this project that I'm trying to get off the ground right now. They're also going to help me do that, and they've already helped with the information that they just which they gave to me. That's going to allow for me to be able to do some of the things that I'm trying to do a little bit easier. So shout out to the Coney Island Sharks. Shout out to Coach Knight. Shout out to Coach Rezzy. Shout out to Miss Priscilla. I absolutely appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Shout out to Miss Sue. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. And all the kids, and great team. And we should be out there on Saturday. Think we got a game on Saturday. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of what you guys do. I definitely appreciate it. I had a conversation with them the other day, and they was like, yo, we did all of the research on you. And it was like, these weirdos keep calling us up and harassing us about you. We told them don't call no more. So they said don't call them no more. So shout out to the Coney Island Sharks. When you lie on somebody, and people lie on the person too, are real niggas. not the N-word in a negative way, but you know, real people. So they go take care of the situation and make sure that they're not being lied to, instead of just running with the bullshit and just believing what somebody said. Some weirdo ass nigga. So shout out to that. I want to turn my camera off. I always forget that that's my icon. With that being said, let's get back to what we're talking about. So Black Lives Matter does not want Kamala Harris. And before somebody say I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always, you know, the liars are always trying to. And this is the problem that we have in our community, right? Oh, hold on. One of the things I like to do is put the screen up while I'm typing so y'all can see what pops up. Because that makes it easy so you can see I'm not like looking for anything specifically. I mean, yeah, I'm looking for a thing. So remember yesterday I told y'all, and earlier today, I told y'all that the Democrats are hypocrites. Well, I've always been saying the Democrats are hypocrites that way. Black Lives Matter says Dems are a party of hypocrites. This is not Fox News saying this. This is just Fox News reporting that Black Lives Matter has said this. I think often the easiest way to trick people that don't know what's going on, I'm trying not to be disrespectful to the easily led astray, but one of the easiest ways to trick people that don't know what's going on, besides just saying a lie over and over and over again, is when, let's say I talk to somebody about something, and so because I talked to them about it,
Sand cloud is over a foot longer and over 6 inches wider than your traditional bath towel. That means
it. When I didn't say it, I'm talking to somebody about it, they said it. Or I'm reporting that somebody else said it. So instead of, because they're not honest. So they're going to say, I said it. Like that whole Shadi thing. When somebody came on my program and said that Shadi was a snitch, and then all of a sudden people said, I said Shadi was a snitch. No, I just reported that Shadi was called the snitch. That's it. So now while they're busy trying to say I'm saying he's a snitch, and I've already dropped like 3 or 4 videos explaining how the mistake could even have happened, that Shadi didn't necessarily have snitched, even though they have information that they could have only acquired through Shadi's telephone. Even though I explained all of this, there's still people that's going to say, oh, you said Shadi snitched. No, I just interviewed the guy that said it. So this is not Fox 5 saying that they are a party of hypocrites, although Fox 5 might think that. Is Black Lives Matter saying that Democrats is a party of hypocrites for installing Harris sans a public voting. So sans means without, by the way. That's what sans means, without. I'll show y'all later. So sans means without. So without a voting, public voting process, we don't live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Oligarchs, says Black Lives Matter. And so the left-wing organization Black Lives Matter is resisting the installation of Vice President Kamala Harris as the presumptive Democratic nominee, and is calling for the Democratic National Convention to create a process that allows for public participation in the nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates. So the thing the Democrats are constantly saying Trump is trying to destroy is our democracy, correct? They always say Trump's trying to destroy the democracy. Well, if they want to keep the democracy together, then they have to have an election for the presidential, for the position of the Democratic nominee. If they do anything else other than that, they are actually destroying democracy. In a statement Tuesday, the group, which rose to prominence in 2020 for organizing nationwide protests in the wake of the killing of George Floyd, said a 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. 4 weeks after his disastrous debate performance last month, attorney party privilege mounted against President Biden Internal party pressure mounted against President Biden to drop out of the race, though he resisted those calls and insisted he was in it to win it. But abruptly, over the weekend, Biden dropped out of the race and nominated Harris to lead the ticket. And overnight, the Democratic Party I do not know how to say that word. Gathered around her. I'm assuming it means gathered. You know what? I'm sorry. We're going to save this word and we're going to go find out how to see it and what it is. Gathered around her, winning enough delegate support to secure the nomination. So basically, there was no election. So this is what I think happened. Now, obviously, I'm just talking. I don't know. I'm not no insider or any of this shit. So obviously, I'm just talking. But this is what I think happened. Listen. Biden has not been the president for who knows how long. There are individuals who's running the government who we did not elect. When Biden was asked to be removed, there are people, in my belief, that want to install their president. Who are these people? Obama. It's the same thing as if, Trump, let's say Trump wins, right? This next election, then he's not eligible to be president anymore. But when Trump shows up to do a speech, he's going to be able to get the people that donate money to donate. So whoever wants to run in the Republican Party and get good donations, you want to be on the good side of Trump. Trump is going to be close to you because you know that you're going to be able to get the people who's going to donate to the platform. You know that Trump has relationships with people in other countries, whatever the case is. So since he's already cultivated these relationships and everything, it'll behoove you, it'll be in your best interest to be in the good, honest, good earning, good have good terms with Trump, right? So that's basically what I think has happened here. Obama basically runs Black Lives Matter, right? Those guys in Obama's are like this, right? Right? So let's just back up for a minute. When did Black Lives Matter become a thing? When they decided they needed to get Trump out of office, right? So Biden goes into office, right? Now, Biden's a puppet. He's always been a puppet. We see that his cognitive decline is astronomical. So anybody believing that he hasn't always been a puppet, I don't know what to tell you. So now Biden can't be used as a puppet anymore because his wiring is off. He can't trick anybody. We all see it. So what I believe is happening is one side of the Democrats, because the Democrats are not all united, just like the Republicans aren't all united. One side of the Democrats wants to put their person in office because you niggas done failed. Y'all got to get up out of here. Right? Y'all been screwing up the last 3 or something years. And it might not have anything to do with policy. It's the perception. You understand what I'm saying? The public perception of you guys are destroying our party. Because of the things that you guys are doing and saying, now people are leaving the Democratic Party. So we need to install somebody that's going to give faith. that's going to bring some of the people back to the Democratic Party, right? But the individuals that's already using Biden as a puppet, they decide they rather keep the puppet going. So the only way to be able to do that is to install Harris, because Harris can be controlled. She does not seem to be one of the most competent politicians. So what I believe is happening is the Democrats are at war with one another. Who told y'all that this was going to happen like a couple of months ago? I remember somebody told y'all a couple of months ago that this was going to happen, that the Democrats are not cool with one another, that they're warring. Somebody told y'all this a couple of months ago. It's so ironic that the more I am correct about things, the more people dislike me. I don't even understand the shit. Like every other, and I'm not trying to complain, but every other content creator, when they're right about something, it's a good thing. But when I'm wrong about something, and I'm really ever wrong, but when I'm wrong about something, I get dragged. And when I'm right about something, I get dragged. Just absolute insanity. I don't know what to tell you. Hold on. Absolute insanity. I don't know what to tell you. Also, hit that like button. I never know if anybody's hitting the like button or nothing because I'm never in here looking at it, but I just throw it up on my screen. Hit that like button. We need some more likes up in. I can't see the likes when I'm on the show like this. I see the likes when we on the regular, when we shooting from the phone. And we've been shooting from the crib more because it's just, I can do more with StreamYard from the house than I can when we're outside. Also, I think it's supposed to rain today. I don't know. It looks kind of rainy outside. And yes, we need to talk about Bangladesh. I'm not talking about it at the moment, but we need to talk about. What up, Shane Kane? Who cares what those scammer BLMs thinks? Right now, BLM is quite frankly a political party. And I do think they're scammers. What up, Shane? What up, Corey? I don't know which one of you guys have probably been talking crazy about me, but I'll put you up there. I think they're a political party, just like MAGA is for the most part a political party right now. And I would like for MAGA to break away from the general consensus of what a Republican is, just like I would like for Black Lives Matter to do the same. Just so we could be clear. Who needs to be locked up, Shane Kane? We could talk about the 90 million. It didn't disappear. It's been reappropriated. It didn't disappear, though. It's still there. It just got reappropriated. It didn't disappear. I need to run a commercial break real quick. Don't go anywhere. Please, everybody drop your comments. I want to know what you guys think about this. I haven't did a commercial yet. I got to run a commercial break. We be right back.
need some of you niggas to stop playing with me. I am not a king. Go put Tetris or something. Word is born. Call me guns, I'm not gonna never tell it on my brother. Word is born, I'ma keep, and I put that on my mother. Fresh from the streets, and I rep it like no other. Say more to the heat, y'all can go and kiss each other. Niggas think that they crazy, what's a knife to a gun? If I can't get the pops, I'ma go get his son. Oh, I heard he got a daughter, tell that little bitch run. She get blinded by the bullets, cause it's blazing like the sun. You click versus me, that's the one-on-one. Sweep them niggas with a stick and a broom, get it done. Chopper loose, extra boost, I'm the man with the juice. When the boogeyman around, niggas pray to Jesus. You should call him Lucifer, that's a fallen angel. Make a star see stars, that's a star bangle. R.I.P. t-shirts, now you
Shout out to Guns. Also, that was Guns right there. Shout out to Guns. Go pull up to his Instagram. I know what to do with it. And also L Guns Music on Instagram. I hate when I move the screen over like this and it looks like I'm staring off into the void. Also, Pastels on the Water. Go check out Christopher Williams live performance. Go make sure that you contact these guys. Shout out. I'm just having brain fog at the moment. Shout out to Team Moto Productions. You're going to contact these guys. You're going to go get your tickets. And you're going to have a great time. You're going to have an absolutely incredible time. I got to get me a clip to be able to play for those guys. I mean, the clips are available. I just got to get it queued up. I got to get it ready. Excellent. Shout out to Team Moto Productions. Very happy to see you here this morning, my brother. Always, as always. So no, the $90 million didn't disappear. What they did was they reappropriated it for their reasonings. The money was given, and they tried to be slick. And this is how you know that they always thought that they were going to do the thing that I told you they was going to do. I'm going to explain it one more time. So this is my belief. I believe there was always a plan. There was 100% always a plan to remove Joe Biden right before the elections, so they didn't have to have a Democratic election for the Democratic nominee, and so they could just put Kamala Harris in that position. I believe this was always the plan, not by the entirety of the Democratic Party, obviously, because you see Black Lives Matter is pissed off about it. You see that the Obamas is pissed off about it. So not the whole entire Democratic Party, just so we can be clear. So basically, the way that they had the funds, the committee set up, it was set up 50-50 for Kamala and Biden. So now, when Biden is removed, Kamala Harris could try to claim, no, but they gave those funds not just because it was the Biden was at the top of the ticket. They gave those funds also because I was on the ticket, so I should also be able to use those funds. That's not necessarily the way that it works. And then they tried to trick all of y'all by believing, since they was on the phone with 20,000 black men and 20,000 black women, they was able to raise X amount of millions of dollars that they could write off now. So they've always been tricking you niggas. That's why everybody that I see that's just diehard Democrats, you are sick. You're sick. Like, you're sick. To say that you're going to vote Democrat no matter what they do, that's a sickness. That's called a cult. So no matter what the Democrats do, you're going to support them. You're not supporting them because of what they do. You're going to support them independent of what they do. That's a cult. Just so we could be clear. Don't worry. I used to have the same sickness back in the 80s. Pardon me, the 90s. I used to have the same sickness back in the 90s. I was just Democrat. I was going in there to vote. I would just go all the way down the line. I had the same sickness. So this is not me speaking and trying to disrespect people who are Democrats. I'm saying I also suffered from this because this is something that we were taught. We were taught that if you are a Democrat, you have no other choice but to vote for a Republican. This is what we would, a Democrat. If you're black, you have no other choice but to vote for a Democrat. This is what we were taught. We were taught that Republicans are racist. We were taught that if you black and you a Republican, then you going against your own people. These are the things that we were taught. These are the things that we were taught. We just need more people to understand God first, not Democrat. If there's Democrats worth voting for, I hope you vote for them. If there's a Republican worth voting for, I hope you vote for them. If there's an independent worth voting for, I hope you vote for them. But to say you're going to vote for a Republican or a Democrat just because they're a Republican or a Democrat and because you're black or because you're white, that's ignorant. And just so I could explain how foolish that is, imagine if every Caucasian person just chose to vote for a white person and vote for Republican. I'm white. I got to vote Republican. No Democrats would ever get elected. And not even in New York City. No Democrat will ever get elected. Who do you think got bigger families? The Caucasian people or the black people? Who do you think families are larger? On average. Go to an abortion clinic and look at their records. See how many black aborted babies is happening every year. Who pushes aborting babies? They push it as women being in control of their own body. First of all, if somebody is raped, great, then absolutely. But I'm 100% behind an abortion. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. I don't even know where to go with that. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about people that decide they're going to go out, have some fun. And then when the baby comes along, they're going to get rid of it. I'm talking about those people. I'm not talking about the people that were in traumatic situations and now they're pregnant and it was terrible. I'm not talking about them. But that's who the Democrats are going to try to make you sound like you're talking about when you say when you say you pro-life. I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that it's imperative for Satan to have certain demographics aborting their babies. Because the last thing he would want is for Jesus to be reborn and come back to earth. I'm just not for how are we supposed to fight? You know they're doing population control all over the planet. You know that's part of their agenda. And when I say they, I'll name names and they'll all be Democrat. Right? Who's the guy that runs Microsoft? He's a Democrat, ain't he? Who's the guy that runs Amazon? He's a Democrat, ain't he? All these people is involved in, all these people are pro-population control, correct? Kamala Harris has spoken at least once that I've heard, where she said that, you know, we have a issue with overpopulation. We don't have an issue with overpopulation, fam. If we had an issue with overpopulation and we had a resource problem, then why are they burning chicken hatcheries and where the cows are at, talking about we don't got enough food? Why are they burning all of these places? Why are they destroying our farms? Why are they buying up all the farmland to just use it for GMOs? This is like just regular questions that people should be asking themselves. And then when you go and you search and see who these people are that's doing this, why are they almost always Democrats or people who are left-leaning? See, the problem with telling the truth is so many people benefit off of the lie. That's the problem with telling the truth. So many people benefit off of the lie. You just become hated. Absolutely hated. Because too many people benefit off of people being ignorant. Shout out to the people in Seagate that have been coming up to me recently a lot, that have been coming up to me and just, you know, treating me like a human being. I just want to clap it up for you guys. I don't really get, and I'm saying this for a reason. And I want to say thank you, right? Because just like two or three things happened yesterday. And it just made me feel like a human being. It made me feel like a human. I feel like an animal most of the time. Like I don't like the way people treat me. You know what I'm saying? So yesterday, a couple of things happened and it just made me feel like a human being. And it's a shame that all of these things that happened that involved these individuals, not one of them was a Black person. Not one. That's the shame. The Democrats have us at war with our own people. That's why it's so easy for a Black person to hate on another Black person. I want to change the subject for a minute. I want to talk about something that happened with the police. What's this young lady's name? I don't want to get her name wrong. The young lady with the hot water. Anybody know her name? Put it down in the chat. I want to say something about that real quick. I'm literally just scrolling through Instagram real quick because she usually pops up like every 2 seconds. But I do a lot of politics. So right now, that's all that's in my feed. The young lady that got gunned down by the police officer, allegedly because he wanted to throw hot water on her. I want to talk about that for a minute. Or she wanted to throw hot water on him. I want to talk about that for a minute. And I can't find her name. Massie. I can't remember her name. Give me 1 second. So I want to talk about that for a moment. I'm looking for the young lady's name before I just start talking. It pops up in my feed every 2 seconds, but it's not in my feed right now. Hold on, let me switch accounts real quick. It might be in any other account. I want to talk about this for a moment. Anybody got any questions about this? Put it down in the chat. I want to talk about this for a moment. I want to talk about it for very, very important because it has to do with what we're discussing right now, just so we can be clear. Democrats are a problem. And the reason why I believe Democrats to be a problem is because they're infecting the rest of us. Like there's perfectly sane individuals that because they subscribe so much to these democratic belief systems, when they get themselves into sketchy situations or in, situations that might be, traumatic or, how do you say, a lot of stimulation, overly stimulated situations, they just conduct themselves in manners that are detrimental to themselves and to the people around them. So I want to say something real quick. Hold on. I know somebody that posted it. I'll go to the page, I think posted it real quick. Detrimental to people and themselves. So hold on. Let me say a thing. Sonja Massie. Thank you. I'm going to put you up there for finding the name for me. Sonja Massie. So I want to say something and I want to be clear about this. I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. We have become a society that now, when we get into an interaction with the police, we escalate it. I'm going to say this again. We have become a society that now, when we get into a confrontation with the police, we escalate it because everybody is so sacrimonious. Hold on, there was a word I was trying to remember to look up. Everybody is so sacrimonious now. So whenever we get into a situation with the police, people are escalating the situation. Now, there's a couple of things I want to say. And the first one is, I do not think that he should have shot and killed that woman. We are not doing that. Ah, sheesh. Not that word. Damn. Can I back up? I'm going to go find the word. So, here we go. we have turned into a society, come together to form one mass or whole. Okay, so I got it right. All right, so using context clues of what the sentence was, I was able to figure out what it actually said. So shout out to that shit. Jack Rose doing all of the things. Just using context clues that was in the sentence. I do not know what that word is. Coalesce. Coalesce? How do you say it?
Coalesce.
Coalesce. Coalesce. See, I was gonna say convalesce. Convalesce is a different word. It means a different
coalesce.
Thing. It means to like heal. Convalesce is like, you know, you gotta heal, you gotta get back together, whatever the case is. Anyway, I believe he was arrested or fired or whatever the case is, but he's done. He's done. So he's done, and he should be done. So I want to say a couple of things, and I want to be clear about this. One, she did throw the water at him. 100%. I saw somebody breaking down the video. She 100% threw hot boiling water at him. There was steam rising up from the ground. I still don't think he should have shot her. Definitely shouldn't have shot her and killed her. That's bananas. So I want to say something. We have mental health problems in America right now. We have a lot of them. Like we're rampant with mental health problems. Other countries are looking at us and they are laughing. I promise you. But one of the biggest mental health problems we have is these individuals get into these situations with the police. And the first thing they think in their mind is they're so right that it don't matter what they do right now because they're right. That's not helping the situation. That's not how you get home. I remember being I remember we used to have these things on TV. They were like commercials. And they would basically show a black man or a person in a situation where it was an unnecessary argument and the person will just let them have it because they got to get back home. She called the police. The police came over to the house. I think they asked her for her ID or some shit like that. She refused to give them the ID, and then everything went sideways. Something along those lines happened. The police officer should not have shot her. But what I'm saying is that because the Democrats are pushing all of these different weirdo ass agendas, a lot of people is just believing them. A lot of people are just believing all of the negative bullshit that ain't true. And because of this very strong belief that these individuals have, they are then going out there and they're doing things that is causing harm to themselves. Others also, but to themselves. That young lady did throw hot boiling water at the police officer. I do not think he should have shot her, and I definitely don't think he should have killed her. But she threw hot boiling water at him. If y'all gonna say police are racist and all of this other shit that y'all saying, so what do you think is gonna happen if you escalate a situation with a racist police officer? So you're gonna come into contact with a police officer you believe to be racist, and you're gonna escalate the situation by trying to throw hot, boiling, burning water on them. Do you know what boiling water could do to a person, especially if you hit them in the face? Hold on. I'm going to show everybody some shit real quick. Oh, I could use this screen. So this is what hot boiling water do to people's faces. Look at this guy. For the people that don't think that the police officer should have had a fear. Now I'm going to tell you what I think happened. Let's put scalding water. I think that's better with it. Fucking hole. That just meant somebody threw boiling water on this baby. Look at this, is crazy, fam. Somebody threw boiling water on that baby. That's fucking bananas, fam. So I just wanted to show y'all what scalding water. Look, somebody threw scalding water on a baby, fam. How did the baby get hit with scalding water, fam? Look at this shit. So I just want y'all to understand the threat that she was throwing out was a threat. It was a real threat, that long-lasting, life-altering injuries. She wasn't threatening with nothing. It wasn't, for anybody that's like, it's not that big of a deal. And if you notice, look how many children got hit with scalding water. You know what kind of person you got to be to throw hot boiling water on a nigga? So I don't want to hear about how she was like asking for Jesus's protection and then all of a sudden she got shot. I'm going to tell you about that in 2 seconds. What do you think happens when you invoke the name of the Lord for protection and then you go do some bullshit? What do I keep telling y'all? You could remove yourself from the Lord's protection. I keep telling y'all, you can remove yourself from the Lord's protection. So this is what I think happened. She invoked the Lord's name. So he was there. And then after invoking his name, she removed herself from his protection. And that's what I believe happened. This is a spiritual war, fam. The words we speak are important. The police officer should be held accountable for what he did. Do not get this confused. But that lady created that situation by trying to throw scalding hot water on that man. And by her invoking the Lord's name first, she tried to throw scalding hot water on him in the Lord's name. At the end of our shows, what do I say all the time? I say, go out there, do something good in the world, and attach God's name to it. She went out there, tried to attach God's name to something, and then do some bullshit. Now, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her family. Don't get this confused. But that don't mean that I can't acknowledge what she did was wrong. I'm not saying she deserved what she got. Who am I to be able to say what anybody deserves? But she's tried to throw hot scalding water on a nigga. Now, do I think the police officer should have just backed up and warned her and then backed up and then warned her? Absolutely. That's what I think he should have did. I think he should have backed up and warned her. Backed up and warned her. Not got closer, because how far could she throw a pot of fucking boiling water in the first place? She can't really throw it that far. So I think he should have backed up and warned her. This is why I think he should be held accountable. He should have backed up and warned her. His partner, back up and warn her. She's already going to jail because of the threat. When she picked up the pot and started pretending like she was going to throw it on a police officer, that's enough for jail. He should have backed up and warned her. Two people could be wrong, fam. Just like two people could be right. And in this particular situation, two people was wrong. The difference is only one of them invoked the name of the Lord. So they had to be held accountable for what they were wrong at. And in that moment. A lot of y'all, a lot of people, I used to be one also. So obviously I'm also speaking about myself. But a lot of people have been deceived by the Democratic Party. I remember the first time I went to go vote. It was me, my brothers. I don't remember if Ray was there, but I believe my brother Jeff was there. Tashim and Rashim, Jeff and Mike. Yes, I did see the video. I saw a full breakdown of the video. What question do you have to it? So the first time I went to vote with my father. It was my brother, Tashim and Rashim. And so we go to the school. And so we're going there to vote for one person specifically that we wanted to vote for. Was it Dinkins? No, it wasn't Dinkins. I couldn't vote when Dinkins was me. I forgot who it was. But we went there to vote for one person specifically. It was a Democrat. And so while I'm talking to them, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do for the other people? Because I don't even know. I wasn't really paying but so much attention. All the other candidates, I probably knew who maybe 1, 2 of them was, but I didn't really know their policies that well. And my father said, just vote Democrat all the way down. Because we're black, basically, and that's what we do. So I'm not saying this to shoot at him at all. He told me basically what all black people were doing. So I don't find it wrong that he gave me the same advice that he was taking himself. I can't really find a problem when somebody gives me the same advice that they're willing to take. Like, you know what I'm saying? All you could do is say, well, do we got different lifestyles? Or whatever the case is. So I go in there, I vote the way he tells me to vote. That was the first time I ever voted. Ever. I think I was about 18, 19. I forgot how old I was. I was young though. It was like the first time I could vote also, just so we can be clear. So I know it was like somewhere around that time. So we have to detach ourselves from the Democratic Party. Why are almost all of the black Republicans I know doing well off? Almost all of the black Republicans I know are doing well. So when black people get money, they decide to move away from the Democratic Party? Or is it the Democratic Party don't do anything for black people? So black people that understand politics stay away from the Democratic Party. They know that they don't do anything to benefit us. Tell me the last thing that a Democrat did to benefit black people. I'm curious. Put it in the chat. The dude asked me, did I see the video, even after I'm explaining to y'all what was in the video. You got anything else to say, Tron? Or that was just the question that you had? Got anything else to say? They asked me open-ended questions like that in hopes I'll say something so they could attack it and try to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. When in reality, you didn't ask anything with any kind of specificity attached to it. So it's like you're trying to leave a big area, not you specifically, but people try to leave a big area for criticism. So that's why a lot of times when people come here and ask those questions, I really don't answer them too tough. It has nothing to do with me not willing to answer the question, but I need a little bit more specificity to it. Did I see the video? Absolutely. I saw the video multiple times with multiple different angles being talked about from multiple different people. Is there a question that you have attached to that? Inquiry. I could have been in more than one television show, but I refused to get the jab. They saw my, they got my face shot of me, the heads or whatever the fuck. I could have been in more than one television show, but I did not have the jab. I was booked and everything, but I did not have the jab. I want Trump back in office immediately. I want them to drop all of these damn restrictions immediately. More than one television show. One of them, it would have been the final season, and it was the final season. It didn't get canceled. It was just the final season. It's our president, Joe Biden, getting led around by his hand as usual. Almost, she not holding his hand, but it always seems that way. So Joe Biden, one moment he is the top of the top, the sharpest guy in the room. Nobody's more intelligent than him. And then the next moment, y'all got to replace him because his cognitive functions aren't working appropriately. That's what we clear. She be having some dope ass fucking outfits. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to know who dresses Jill Biden. Some of that shit be trash, but some of that stuff be dope as hell, fam. Who be dressing her? Like, I like this outfit. I don't care what nobody say. I like that outfit, and I like this one. Some of these other ones look like she went in the Hillary Clinton's closet, but this one's hard too.
Israel, do you support reparations for Black people? So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit Black people. No. Which is why I support the United States commitment to provide Israel with $38 billion in military assistance over the next decade.
So she's going to provide Israel with billions of dollars in assistance over the next decade, but she's not going to do anything for Black people. But Black people think that if you don't vote for her, you have to vote for her because you're Black. I need somebody to explain this to me. So she couldn't give just $1 billion. You know what? Right now, if she said before the election even start, what I'm going to do is we're going to take $1 billion. We're going to divvy it up and send it out to every Black person over the age of 25 in America. Equal sums, whatever that might be. I'm here for that. We're going to take $10 billion and we're going to, because you're giving all of these billions of dollars to other countries. So I want to know why you can't give America a couple of $1 billion. Am I wrong for that? Let's look at this vote that we got going on. Am I wrong for that? You know what that would do to our economy? Remember, us as black people, we spend money just absolutely like it's going out of style. You know what that would do for our economy? For black people specifically, to have a couple of $1 billion, $1 billion, put $1 billion in black Americans' hands. You know how quickly that's going to turn over into our economy? Should the American public be able to vote for presidential candidates? 54 people voted, 65% said yes, 22% said no. Only the Republican candidates got 0, and 13% just want to see the results. So every person, so 65% of the people disagree with what the Democrats just did. Just so we could be clear, 65% of the individuals that came into the chat disagree with what the Democrats just did. Just so we could be clear. 65% disagree with what the Democrats just did. 22% agrees with them. Don't know what to tell you, fam. Don't know what to tell you. Not in no rush. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it into the chat. We don't have much
over the next decade.
We don't have much conversation in the chat today, so I'm saying anything y'all want to talk about, put it into the chat. I'm going to end this poll. We don't got much going on in the conversation today, so that's the only reason why I'm about to end the show. I'm at the end of what I wanted to talk about specifically, so I'm about to end the show. But if there's anything that y'all guys want to ask me, put it into the chat, and that's how we'll keep the show going. If there isn't anything that anybody want to ask me, then I'm just going to go through some commercials and I'm going to end the show. But I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes to decide if y'all want us to keep it going.
Qualified person to do it, to lead after the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help us. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border. I've asked her, the VP today.
So she was the czar, apparently. She was the border czar. There's all of the proof in the world that she's the border czar. Then why is the media saying that she wasn't the border czar and that people are lying? Could somebody explain that to me?
Well, this was a little. I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. Frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done.
Did you just listen to what she said? She wanted to do a thing that so many people were against, that they thought that if she had an opponent, that it would actually, that she shouldn't do it if she has an opponent. She shouldn't talk about it if she has an opponent. Because the thing she was going to say was so unpopular. Like, you have to listen to, like, sheesh.
An opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. So I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district, my homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there, and I said, when you go over there, look really mean. And so they did, and invariably the parents said, well, who's the mean-looking dude? the principal would say, well, that's someone that mean DA Kamala Harris sent over here because she said she's going to start prosecuting you if we can't work this out. I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. I was going to start prosecuting.
What the fuck? How he get so tall? They could have just put shoe lifts in his shoes.
People, I have one thing to say to you. I'm sorry. Sorry that I bought into all the bullshit that the media was feeding to me for all those years. Sorry for thinking that you guys were the enemy, when really you were trying to protect this country. The past 3 years, the past 4 years have been horrific. You can't buy food. Gas prices are ridiculous. And our cities are looking like fucking slums. Elect Kamala Harris, who's actually in charge of the border now. Yeah, no, sorry. I bought into all the bullshit. Not this time. Another thing. As a gay man, I'm over this fucking gay woke agenda bullshit. Because that's not what the gay community is. Sorry, it is not. What they're pushing on TV is some sadistic shit. And as somebody who has a nephew who's in kindergarten, the last thing I want is for my nephew to think that if you already know where I'm going with this, right? That's some bullshit. That, in my opinion, is some bullshit that they're doing with the kids. It has to stop. It has to stop because it's giving gay people a bad name. Gay people who don't want any part in that. I don't even go to gay pride anymore because it's disgusting. Gay pride used to be fun. Gay pride used to be a kiki. We used to dance, but basically turned into a fucking sex fest. It's disgusting, and it does not represent me in one bit. I was told that if I vote for Trump, that my rights as a gay man would be taken away and I would be set back 100 years. And can you show me where Trump said that? You know the response I got? Fuck you. Crazy liberal shit. So, again, to all the MAGA people, you have a new person on board with you. Trump 2024. Let's get this fucking country back in order. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I just really can't get with liberals. That's because they do the same thing to people that happens to me in my chat. So nobody comments in my chat. And the reason why nobody comments primarily is because people come in here and do exactly what he just said that these people do. When somebody come in here and try to say something that don't make any sense, I'll ask them where they got it from, what their information is, or whatever the case is. They immediately start insulting me. That's literally what liberals do. They don't have no proof of nothing. They don't have nothing at all. All they got to say is that I'm wrong. That's it. And when I ask them how I'm wrong, they can't tell you. They can't have no explanations. There's nothing. They just say, we know you're wrong. And then they start insulting me. So I kick them. And then they go tell people I kicked them because I don't respect their opinion. When in reality, I just kicked you because why do I have to sit here and be insulted? I'm going to tell you the number. So there are a lot of people who I used to be cool with that I'm not cool with no more. I'm going to explain to you why. I don't accept certain things and I don't care. So one of the things that I don't accept is if you're just going to disrespect me for no reason and talk crazy about me, I'm going to say, okay, not a problem. I don't need to fight you, but I'm not going to be cool with you no more. You do understand this, right? Like, I'm not going to be cool with you no more. Like, once you start insulting me, I'm not going to be cool with you no more. So the people that hate me get the people who I like to come insult me and then pretend like and then they be like, oh, well, the insults are over. Now we not cool. Because I would have never did that to you. Never in my wildest imaginations could anybody ever come up to me and say, I bet you if you insult that guy, he's not going to be nice. He shouldn't be nice to you. He shouldn't be nice to me if I walk up to him and just start insulting him for no reason. What the fuck would I expect for him to now be nice to me for? He has no obligation to be polite to me if I'm not polite to him or her. The Bible says not to have associations with fools. So I kick them. Worshipful Marcus, salute. This is just like how the Democrats said Donald Trump lied in the debate 28 times, but they can't name not one lie. No, they can't. He didn't lie. As far as I know, if you could show me a lie, I'll accept it. But nobody be lying. They just feel like if they say something over and over and over again, people are stupid. And they'll just start believing it. All you got to do is keep repeating it. That's it. I keep trying to tell you, these people that's lying to you, they think you stupid. They know I know. They know Trump knows. They think you're stupid. You think the people that lie about me really think that I don't know? They know I know. They think you are stupid. The court just granted a motion to block Joe Biden's unlawful rewrite of Title IX that allows biological males in the female spaces. A huge win for women and girls across the country. The Democrats hate women, fam. They hate y'all. They hate y'all. All women. They hate y'all. Just pay attention to the I'm about to say something that's going to be extremely unpopular and it's going to break a lot of people's hearts if they even realize I'm telling the truth. You think you can get into heaven after you have an abortion? You think there's a possibility? Where's thou shalt not murder on that list?
She said it, and she probably doesn't want. Are stupid. She said it, and she probably. They are stupid.
They about to put all of you gang niggas in jail forever. Better pay attention. They about to put all of you gang niggas in jail forever. As soon as they get enough migrants in to take the places of your families. Because you know how many of these niggas out here that's selling drugs and everything else and they're supporting their whole entire family? What happened when them niggas all get locked up? Whole entire communities are going to be destroyed. Think about that for one moment. They're about to put all of you niggas in jail. All of you niggas. And y'all going to, just so we can be clear, Your friends are going to be the ones that's going to be helping them put you in jail. All right? Those are going to be the snitches. So I don't talk to people about whatever crimes they're committing. There's a couple of reasons for that. But one of the main reasons why I don't talk to people about whatever crimes they're committing is because I never want anybody to ever be able to say, I snitched on a nigga. I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't want to know who you're doing it with. I don't want to have enough information that a police officer can ever have a conversation with me and said I ever said anything. So if you know anybody that know me, one of the main things they'll tell you is I don't listen to whatever crimes y'all niggas is doing, and I don't want to know it. It's your homeboy snitching on you. It's your homegirl snitching on you. It's your family snitching on you. It's the other gang niggas in the community that need you to get up out of there because you making all of the bread snitching on you. That's who's snitching on you. It's not that random motherfucker that's walking up in the block, down in the block, doing nothing and nobody minding their business. That nigga ain't snitching. It's the drug niggas. It's the niggas you selling the drugs to. They snitching on you. All right? Those are the niggas snitching on you. The niggas you see every single day. Because why? Half of these dudes work for the police and they have to bring back intel every now and then. What do you think these junkies are doing to get that money to go get high from? When they can't get no money, what do you think they doing? All they got to do is go work for the police. The police put them on the books for a couple of $100, maybe $1,000 a month. Put them right on the books. All they got to do is stay in the neighborhood and watch everybody, and come back to them whenever they got anything. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. I'm trying to keep the show going. I'm looking for topics. I'm trying to keep the show going. I'm looking for topics. I'm looking for topics. Anything else y'all want to discuss? If not, I just got sent the thing. Somebody says that they don't believe that that was Biden that gave the whatever that presser thing was the other day.
Here's my answer. I am running and we're gonna win. In more recent weeks, it's become clear to me I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. So I decided the best way.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if that was or wasn't Biden. I don't care if that was or wasn't Biden. Justin Fields says he only wears fake jewelry from Amazon. He makes nearly $5 million a year. I would probably have some real jewelry. Like if I had it like that, I'd have real jewelry, but I'd also have fake replicas. Definitely. I'm not really a jewelry guy, you know what I'm saying? But if I had real jewelry, I'd also have fake replicas. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whenever I go somewhere that's like a crowded area, I'll have the replica on. Somebody want to take it, take the bitch. Whenever I go somewhere where it's like more of a event where it's gonna be everybody there has money, then I wear the real shit. Sheesh. Okay, I just want to say this real quick. Ice Spice looked better when before she did whatever she did. She looked better when she was super thick. I'm sorry. She looks good now. I mean, but when she was super thick, she just looked better. I'm sorry. I don't know why they made her slim down like this. I don't have the slightest idea. But she just looked way better when she was super thick. I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's close. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. We're not really talking about nothing at the moment. I'm gonna let y'all go. So I do want to, before we go out, I do want to send some love and prayers to our brothers over in Bangladesh. For everybody that don't know, over in Bangladesh right now, they're having a situation where brothers and sisters in Bangladesh. For everybody that don't know right now, they're having a situation in Bangladesh where there are a lot of students young students also that are being exterminated basically by the regime that's in power. They're sending military, they're sending the police to just off people. There's a fight over the jobs, the government jobs, and who's allowed to get the government jobs currently. And it's not even something that I believe this should be a bigger issue on a global scale of being reported. But I guess right now, because of what's going on in America, everything else is easier to push things to the back burner. So I just want to send some well wishes, and I want to send some prayers out to all our brothers and sisters in Bangladesh right now that's fighting for their survival and trying to get change that could be beneficial to, their whole country, not just to a select group of people. With that being said, I love y'all. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Go out there in the world, do something worth doing. I'm going to play one clip for y'all real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here.
Thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country.
This is the kind of thing that is playing out all over conservative media. I just want to do a little bit of record correcting. There's not record crime right now. Number one, Harris was put in charge, as you said earlier, of combating the roots of immigration. She was not and is not the border czar.
And the Biden administration did task Vice President Kamala Harris with the issue of migrant crossings, naming her the so-called border czar.
I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand.
During the department's regular oversight of our execution of presidential drawdown authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA, this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
Whenever I had a Republican president, I made a lot of money.
That's true.
A lot of people say that.
Whenever
a lot of people say that.
I'm just gonna keep my opinions to myself. But anyway, if I'm voting for Trump, so what somebody's gonna do about it?
I don't think anybody. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Oh yeah, but I'm just talking about. So what?
Yeah, does it make you feel weird that people...
so what?
Why is it people care about your opinion so much? Is that weird to you that people freak out about your opinion?
No, they believe I have a lot of followers, this and that, but this is my opinion. This is what I believe. If I like Donald Trump and I want to vote for him, I'm going to do it. So what? What are you going to do? Shoot me, beat me up?
No,
I don't think so.
No, it's not. But I think that people.
Does anybody have a clip of Kamala Harris sounding intelligent? If anybody has a clip of Kamala Harris sounding intelligent, please send it to me. I would just love to be more fair than it seems we are being. So if anybody has any clip anywhere of Kamala Harris being intelligent, please send it to me. I would love to post it. And we might be coming back pretty soon with another show. There is another thing that I want to talk about. I might make a separate video for it. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody, go out there in the world, do something worth doing, stamp God's name on it, let people know that you come in the name of God. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.